maybe let's just try it the right way, that way.
Orientation is locked. Rotate device back. Yeah, because he started the streaming in this position, so it's got to stay in this position.
All right, well, it'll be fine. All right, at least we can see people. Hopefully people will come in. I can do it. All right. There's that. And make sure. Okay. Go ahead. You can just make sure the sound's coming through. All right. Okay. Hey, everybody. Coach Stacy, Lynn here with my husband of almost 34 years. And here with my husband of almost 34 years.
Yes.
There's an echo in the house. Okay.
With my husband of almost 34 years.
Stop.
All right. Anyway, so just so you know, Randall and I have we're basically on vacation this week, and Saturday is our 34th wedding anniversary, and so I told Randall that I thought it would be fun to do a live stream with him, and we have both written down 5 questions that we're going to ask each other. It's secret. I don't know what his are. He doesn't know what mine are. And we thought that given the fact that we've been married 3 decades plus, and today literally is the anniversary of the day we met, right?
36 years ago. Yeah.
36 years. I'm going to just look at you in here so I'm not turning my gray hair to the camera. So yeah, 36 years ago, man, we met today. 36 years ago we met. Wow, I can't see better. Now I can see better. Okay. All right. And for those of you who care, this is what we looked like when we got married. So this should tell you, like, this is Randall with dark hair and me with dark hair. And yeah. And there's a puppet on the hand. Yeah, that's it's a long story. I ain't gonna get into it. But this is what we looked like 36 years ago. Well, yeah, no. 34 years ago. Because this Saturday is our 34th anniversary, but we met 36 years ago today, this very day. And anyway, so those of you who want to stay with us for a few minutes, we're gonna celebrate kind of our anniversary here. If you want to give us stars or thumbs up, or you want to share it, this is good. We're a Christian couple. We've gone through a heck of a lot in 36 years. And yeah, so you have anything to say? You have anything to say before we jump into our anonymous questions?
Let's jump into it.
All right. So what we did, I told Randall, I said we should just have some fun, and you write down 5 questions for me. I write down 5 questions for him, and then we'll answer them. And we do not know what the questions are. So do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Oh, ladies first.
Okay, you don't want to do our typical rock, paper, scissors way of decisions? Okay,
No,
I'll go.
it's a lot of strength.
All right, I'll go first. My first question for you is, what have you learned about growing spiritually in 34 years of marriage?
What I learned about growing spiritually?
Yep.
Well,
Hi.
since it's in the context of 34 years of marriage, I would say that it's important to have a spouse that supports you in spiritual growth, who is also spiritually growing, who's also invested in spiritual growth. And I've talked to couples where it's just one side, either husband or wife. That's usually the wife, but anyway.
Me and the wife is more spiritually.
Right, but not
grounded.
always. I've talked to couples and the other way around, and yeah, it's not as whatever. What's I'm looking for? Just not as encouraging. It's discouraging to have a spouse who's not on the same page spiritually. So important.
Well, hello, people. Hi, just say hi. Okay, that was my question.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're well. How about yourself? That's one of your top fans, I guess.
I guess for now.
Yeah. All right, my question for my beautiful beloved bride is, what do you remember most about the day we met?
What do I remember the most about the day we met? Getting lost.
Yeah.
So the purpose of this conversation is that we've been married 34 years Saturday, this coming Saturday, and we thought that would be fun to ask each other random questions. And I wrote down 5, he wrote down 5, and now we're answering them. And we're happy to take yours too, as long as they're appropriate. So yeah, getting lost is what I remember the most about the day I met you.
You want to elaborate on that?
Well, yeah. Well, actually, technically, it wasn't the day I met you. It wasn't the day I got lost. But if I hadn't gotten lost,
Okay.
I would not have met you. So I think that's why I remember that. So yeah. So basically, I met Randall because I was on my way to my very first therapy appointment with this new therapist who lived probably, well, she didn't live. She worked about a half hour from where I lived. And when I went to her office, it was a Saturday, and I took a wrong turn. Literally, I took a right turn instead of a left turn. This was way before the day of GPSs and Google Maps. We had none of that. And so I had I had lived in California. I was living in Riverside County. I drove down to Orange County and made a wrong turn. I made a right turn instead of a left turn, and I couldn't find the therapist's office. So I ended up trying to find a phone booth, because back in the day, that's what they, had. And the first phone booth I saw was on the property of this church. And so I went to that church, and then anyway, I ended up moving into the area, and because that was the only church I knew about, I decided to attend that church. And so a couple of weeks later, I went to that church for the first time, and that's where I met Randall. He was a greeter at the church.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you for the wishes, Monier.
Monier, yeah.
Monier 2771. Appreciate it.
Yeah, tell us where you're from in the thingy too, if you want. So that's what I remember most about the day I met you, and that you were pretty straight laced, wearing a white shirt and a red tie, and basically really stiff.
Right, that was more than one thing. All right, your turn.
My turn. Okay. Next question for you is, what attribute of yours do you think has changed the most? And what attribute of mine has changed the most? So I'm a crier.
What attribute of mine has changed the most?
Mm-hmm. Well, happy birthday.
I would say that I'm more of a risk taker.
Risk taker. Yeah, I can see that.
I think that's what's changed the most. And for you, I think the most significant change is diplomacy.
I would agree with that.
I mean, you still speak your mind, but not at first sight kind of thing.
That's right. Yep. So, yep.
Top of the dish. All right.
Yeah, he's pointing out my thingy. I'm not going to even bother reading the comment that's held for review. Anyway, okay, so for you, you're more of a risk taker. For me, I am more diplomatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I think that you and my therapist taught me diplomacy, because I didn't grow up with diplomacy, as you know. You've met my mother.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was my question to you. Okay, that was the second one. So what's your second one?
What's the most important? What is the most important piece of advice for newlyweds?
Dang, that's a high one. So not before they get married, they have to be married.
Well, either way, I thought about changing it. I said newlyweds, either soon to be married or newly married.
Well, I think the most important advice I have for couples that are gonna get married is go to therapy first.
Hmm.
Absolutely, 100%. Because because even though you might think you're super healthy, you're not. You're not. You're just you're just gonna have to go to therapy, and also get good therapy. Don't go to some quack pastor therapist or a pastoral counselor. My advice would be stay away from people in the church that like don't get premarital counseling from a church. Don't get premarital counseling from a pastor. If you're believers, make sure you seek out a solid Christian therapist who knows what they're doing and who has lots of experience. That's my advice. And here's why, because pastors aren't trained as therapists. Some are, but most aren't. And there's so much patriarchy in the church that it's abusive towards women. And you want somebody who understands trauma dynamics and family systems and things like that. Because when you get married, it's two families, which you can equate to two businesses getting married with each different CEOs, and now you're merging those companies. Good luck, right? So that's my most important advice, honestly, and hopefully it'd be both of you should be believers. If you're Christians, if you're not, then you can marry whoever you want. But if you're a Christian, don't be marrying an unchristian, because it's the worst thing you can do for your life. So.
I see both have spent a long time together. Do people in the USA believe in marriage nowadays? I think people recognize it as a traditional institution. And, I see even couples that are non-traditional, they'll get married because it's tradition, if that makes sense. I mean, they're not, shall I say, not conservative. A couple that's not conservative still get married because it's tradition. Even if they've been married many times before. I mean, we can turn to Hollywood, right? Those who've been married 5, 6, 7 times, they still get married again, even though they may not really honor the institution as is meant to be. One woman, one man, till death parts us, for better, for worse, sickness and health, all that kind of stuff. They'll still do it. So people in the USA, do they believe in marriage nowadays? Yes, fortunately, it's still recognized as a traditional institution. Whether or not it's honored as such, I think less than it used to be.
I think marriage in America is a mockery today. That's what I think. I think that the gay activist community has come in and messed marriage up, the definition of it for most people, and you're kowtowed into accepting something as marriage that's not. I think that's a big part of it, even in the church. And I think that what we need is better premarital counseling, better actual counseling, and it needs to be harder to get married than it does, and then it needs to be harder to get divorced. I think there should be legit reasons why people get married and divorced. That's my opinion on that. We have another from JDF. So, what is something you discovered about each other during your marriage that strengthened your bond? That for me, that was easy. For me, this one is early on in our marriage, when we were in marriage counseling. The thing that I discovered was that we're a team, and that other people who tried to split us up or attack us, like our family, your family in particular.
True story.
It was basically we're a united front against those people. Well, actually, my mom too. My mom was a pain in the butt too. So we both came from very broken family backgrounds. I mean, between both of our families, some of you know this, there were 12 marriages between our 4 parents, right? So his mom and dad, my mom and dad, there were 12 marriages. So for us to be married 34 years is a freaking miracle, just statistically, right?
Yeah.
So, but going through marriage counseling, I think for me a pivotal point that helped us strengthen our bond was understanding that when we had outside forces trying to come against us, you know, it was easy to see how they could try to triangulate you and pit people against you. But it was like once we realized, wait a minute, it's us against them. And that was basically our mentality was, okay, we're one unit. It's us against the world, basically. Yeah, you got to ride. Yeah, ride or die. And we understand there's reasons people get divorced and things happen. But for us, it was like his father was a pain in the ass. My mother was a pain in the ass. They were both narcissists and nuts, both of them. I mean, let's just be real. They freaking were. And, you know, I didn't like his dad. My mom liked my husband and not me. So it's like, you know, he's talking about trying to undermine. I mean, there was a point in our marriage where we had no communication with any of them because we had to set up those boundaries to protect our marriage. So,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Bill Nixon, hi.
Yeah. Hi. Thanks for the question, Mr. JDF. We know who you are. And we appreciate your support. Okay, so use your question next.
I don't know.
Okay.
How many have you asked?
Let's see. I asked you what attribute of yours do you think has changed the most and what of mine has changed.
And what number was that?
That was 2.
And I asked 2. So it's your time to ask.
Okay, so my
Your
third
turn.
question for
Yeah.
Randall is, this is, okay. What is something you now believe about women after 34 years of marriage?
That I didn't before?
That you didn't before, yeah. And now, also, he has 2 sisters as well. So, you know, he's been now married to me for 34 years. So,
I don't know if there's anything I believe now that I didn't before.
okay. Maybe something about me you believe now that you didn't before? Which of us is the best singer? That's a good one.
It's her,
Me.
hands down.
Hands down, I'm the better singer. That's true, actually.
But
Although his voice has gotten better throughout the years.
yeah. I've been the choir singer in our during our marriage.
He has.
Um,
And he sings his little heart out. He's so cute when he does it. Everybody loves watching Randall sing.
yeah, and I get stuck singing tenor because I'm really a baritone, but all the men, you know, want to sing bass. There are no tenors, and it's like,
Right.
okay, I can fake it.
Okay.
I can really put some air behind there and hit those higher notes. Have to get loud to hit those tenor registers, but
I used to.
anyway,
I used to
all
be.
that for free.
I used to be soprano. Now I'm second soprano because my voice has gone down, gotten deeper as I've gotten older. Anyway,
So I don't. Difficult that I can't think of anything I believe now about women that I didn't believe before.
okay.
I've certainly become more. I don't know, more sensitive to women or more appreciative or more whatever. I'm just trying to think of the right adjective. But yeah, you know, living with a woman 24/7 gives a little more insight to females, at least one, you know, but there are similarities talking to other women and just through knowing you and then through ministry and things like that, just I guess just sensitivity. I'm trying to think of another word that I can't think of right now, but
It makes sense.
just
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. That's a good answer. Okay, your question.
oh yeah, my question. What or who is the best source for marital advice? Kind of already answered this, but
Well, I mean, no, you asked the other question was premarital.
yeah.
What or who? Well, um, the Bible, the Bible is the best source for marital advice. Um, in the most practical sense, if you read it and apply it, generally speaking, you know, it it works. But honestly, research shows for marriage that if you are having difficulty, let's say you're a young couple and you just got married and you're having an issue, the research actually suggests, because research never proves anything, it only suggests stuff. Research suggests that if you go to an older couple who's been married longer and they know what the heck they're doing and they're healthy, if they mentor you, that's better than going to marriage counseling. Hands down. And it makes sense if you think about it, because if you are raised in a healthy family system with a healthy mom and dad, guess what? You're going to end up learning that healthy model. You're going to learn that, take it into your marriage, and you're going to end up having a healthy marriage as a result because you had a healthy role model. Randall and I didn't have that. We had crappy, I'm not going to swear again. We had lousy role models, and I actually told Randall when we were dating, I said, you're going to therapy or I'm not going to marry you. And he did. He went to therapy. He was like, all right, fine. So he started going to therapy. So anyway.
Your good face.
Okay. Well, thank you. Hopefully that's a compliment, but okay. So that was
my asking my question number
So that was number 3.
Oh.
Okay, so now my question number 4. We each have 5 questions. Okay, so what is something you've noticed about me that surprises you now, and or us that surprises you now?
Well, I'm still surprised as time goes by.
You're taken by surprise?
Mm-hmm. But as far as now, again, kind of it's similar to the other question, something about you or us now that surprises me, or wow.
I wish this thing would go away. I can't get it to go away. Oh, now I can.
You can choose a sticker.
I can choose a sticker now. I'll go ahead and choose a poll question. No, I'm not going to do that. Never mind. Ignore that. Although I could touch this. No, never mind. I have this thing on my thing. I can't see. I have the line through my face as I'm seeing myself, just so you know. But anyway, I'm giving Randall time to answer the question.
Yeah, and I really...
Too hard to come up with an answer, huh?
Yeah, it's like something that surprises me.
So is that the question?
Yeah.
Anybody else have a better question?
No, that's something I've learned about us that...
So I got something concerning the wife in a marriage. The harder the man works to provide for the family, the higher the expectations become. Why? Well, I think if I'm understanding the question, it sounds like the expectations of the wife are higher the harder the man works. Is that right, JDF? Is that so? Because I think that's a over expectancy issue. When I coach people, I use a model, the equipping profile model. One of the things on there that it measures is over expectancy, and over expectancy is exactly what it sounds like. It's when somebody uses should a lot. And they expect you to think, act, and feel the way that you do. And when they don't, this is the simplest way I put it, when they don't, that person gets ticked off at you. And if 2 people in a marriage are over expectant, wanting each other to think, act, and feel the way that they do, then you have a disaster in a marriage, because you have two people who, biblically speaking, are Pharisees, right? Because Pharisees wanted Jesus to think, act, and feel the way that they did. And when Jesus didn't do what they wanted, they got really ticked off at him, and obviously they wanted to kill him. And I think that is one of the things in marriage that's one of the biggest issues I've seen, is that, number one, first of all, over expectancy. I've given this profile to over 100 people, and I would say 97 people of those 100 are over expectant. There are very few people that are not over expectant. And I think that's partially because people don't work on it, and they don't recognize it. They don't have it. They don't have somebody. They don't have somebody actually explain it to them in a way that they can understand it, right? So one of the things I tell people, watch for the word should. If somebody uses the word should a lot, they're over expectant. Meaning, again, that they want you to think, act, and feel the way that you do. And if you don't, they get mad at you. So I work with people. That's most of what I work with. And it's so funny because on my profile, I'm not over expectant. I'm actually very low on it. But it's because I've worked on it through the years, and I think that's part of what makes a good marriage, is you can understand that you each have different expectations. When people get married, they have a whole boatload of expectations. I know I did. When I first got married, I had never been married before, and never will be married again, probably. I can't foresee training another man, No, I can't see having another guy tolerate me this long. But I thought, okay, I'm a Christian wife. I'm going to make dinner for my husband every day. We're going to do quiet time. We're going to pray together. We're going to do all this stuff. And one of the very first arguments Randall and I got in, I guess it wasn't really a super argument, but it was kind of a disagreement, had to do with the bedspread. I wanted a floral bedspread, and Randall's like, there's no way I'm going to put that on my bed. I'm not sleeping in bed with a garden on my bed, whatever. And we went to marriage counseling, and that was actually one of the issues. And I remember the therapist basically suggesting, well, why don't you get something with colors, just colors, or a solid color, or whatever. And now Randall, I'm sure, could give a rip if we had a floral.
As long as it's not on fire, it's good.
Right. But at the time, he was like, okay, a single bachelor, getting married to me, and I'm a girl, and I want flowers on my bed. And he's like, no, I don't want it, so that there was an expectation there of what, we each thought we wanted, at least in, bedroom decor or whatever. But anyway, so, I don't know.
Well, I was going to answer your question.
What was my question? What's something that has, his question?
No, I was going to answer your question,
Okay.
but I'm seeing this one, which is more visible in marriage.
Valuable in marriage.
Valuable marriage.
The sword or the shield? Sword. In my mind. If you're meaning the Bible.
Yeah.
The Bible versus faith, I think they go together.
Yeah.
But for me, it's the sword. But it has to be handled properly, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rightly divided.
Yeah.
And I'll get back to that, but first, 3 questions. First, your question, Stace, was about something that surprised me that I forget exactly what the phrasing was. You can.
What is something you've noticed about me or us that surprises you now?
Well, I would say the thing is just resilience, both in you and in us as a couple. Just resilience. We are 34 years in.
36, really.
Yeah, right.
But 34 married, yeah.
And at first it was, can we make it next year and next year? And 10 years. We've made 10 years, and it's like, and then it became, we'll probably. I didn't fear divorce or anything like that, but just just sanity and that kind of thing. Um,
Sure. Free.
yeah. But yeah, it's just resilience that, yeah, we're pretty resilient. You know, we depend on the Lord. And I wanted to throw in my 2 cents about about a husband providing, working hard to provide, and then
Yeah.
that becoming the expectation, and like where the past performance is assumed to be an indicator of future, behavior. And if your car is working well when it first drives off, but you can't expect it to keep throwing out without regular maintenance and periods of rest and all that kind of thing. And so people are, I was going to say no different, people are more complex than that. That
Just a little.
yeah, that we need times of rest, and sometimes after time of rest we can come out even working harder than before, or less than, or what, we're just. And so in a relationship with people, you can't say, oh, categorize someone, this is who they are, this is what they do, and that will carry on forward. I'm not the same person I was, I don't think, 34 years ago.
You are, but you're different.
Yeah, different. I mean,
But your core.
the core of me is still who I am, but right, but
Yeah.
there's growth, there's change, yeah. And anyway, and just speaking to over expectancy is the whole kind of thing, borrowing a line from Steve Taylor's song, "You Don't Want to Be a Clone." If you want to be one of his, you got to act like one of us.
Yeah.
This idea that well, if you don't think and feel and act like I do, then we're incompatible. And well, if everybody was the same, then there'd only be need for one person.
Right.
If her and I were identical, one of us would be unnecessary.
No, but isn't it neat how over the years your strengths have become mine?
Yeah.
Like when you're talking about
Right.
diplomacy. I'm a very outspoken person, like JDF knows, because you watched us for 20 years on Bible News Radio. So it's like, I know. It's like I have no problem telling you my opinion. But over the years, I've learned how to do it more gently if it's a negative opinion, right? So, and that was him. When we first married, though, he was like, you couldn't get him to share his opinion to save his life. In therapy, it was like pulling teeth to get him to open up and say anything, because he was like so hesitant to articulate what he was trying to figure out how to articulate it. And now it's like, I sometimes just can't get him to shut up now. It's like, be quiet already. It's like, yeah. So
Anyway, so any kind of human relationship, especially in marriage, is flexible. It allows for flexibility in the other person, that what is true today may not be true tomorrow, kind of thing. I remember talking to our marriage counselor many years ago in a private session. I was in a private session with a counselor, and we were talking, and I forget how it came up, but I talked about those couples who've been married for 30, 40 years, and then they get divorced. And I'm like, it just escaped me. I said, what, you made it that far, what can, be a deal breaker at that point? And
there's a lot, actually.
And the therapist shared with me, because they had counseled couples of that phase, and what it often was the very traditional husband goes off to work, and comes home in the evening. They spend a few hours together, and then they're off to bed, and he's gone in the morning, kind of thing. And then comes the day he retires, and he's home 24/7. And And not just the proximity. Well, here's this guy home 24/7 that I used to get rid of for 10 hours a day. He's here, but they never learned to relate in that time, and now suddenly they're forced into this forced vulnerability.
Yeah.
Where they used to be insulated, now they're in close proximity, and with the proximity comes vulnerability, and it just becomes too much.
Yep.
And so that takes me back to just how important it is to have that openness all along, whether you spend 2 hours a day or together, or 10 or 12, or 18 or 24, is to cultivate that safe space and vulnerability. There was a post on LinkedIn earlier today. Someone was saying that it was their 30th anniversary.
You're good at this. He's good, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, someone was saying that it was their
Smart.
30th anniversary, and gave some things they learned, whatever.
Mhm.
And one of them was, don't mention divorce unless you seriously mean it. And I echoed that. I said, yes, we've counseled young couples to get the D word out of their vocabulary. That safety was important, for sure. I mean, it's not like you can't get divorced ever if you're getting beat to death or whatever, anything, safety, safety excluded, genuine safety included. But when that D word is out there, it's like, well, there's this walking on eggshells. Well, if I say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, she's going to file for divorce. He's going to file for a divorce. And when it comes up in conversation, divorce, mentioned it.
Well, that was a big.
Instead of breeding that vulnerability and connection, you walk around on eggshells.
Right, but that was the big issue for us in the beginning of our marriage, because I had massive abandonment issues. Big, huge. I still do. I still have a little bit, not like it was, but there's still, for me it was like, okay, if I get angry, is he gonna leave? That type of thing. And we were separated 8 months. For 8 months, 3 years into our marriage, we got separated. But we got separated to save the marriage. We did it under duress. No, no, I'm just kidding. No, we did it because I was not acting safely, and Randall needed a safe environment. I needed a safe environment in a different way. But we were both in therapy at the time we did it, and so there was
separately and together.
Yeah, we did it. We followed a very strict plan. Our therapist set up a plan
with the same therapist, both
and
individually and together.
And her plan worked, because it was basically a clandestine plan to get us back together. But it gave us time to learn to communicate, which is what we came into this marriage not knowing how to communicate. Not even remote, not in a healthy way. Let's put it that way. In terms of marriage stuff. So there is hope, and I know people who've gotten divorced, who've gotten remarried after they've gotten divorced. So there's hope even there. Yeah, I've been working with a client actually, and that was one of their issues, was they had gotten a divorce at some point in their marriage, and they're now married again. So don't ever give up hope. If there is any hope there, then that is possible too. So, and I know I have some good friends that have had horrible marriages, and they're still kicking. But abuse, I think the church has done a disservice to Christian marriage in many senses. I think that because women are told to submit, and I think men are not taught to love their wives like Christ loves the church, I think that's a part of the problem. And I think abuse, there's been a lot of abuse. And so I'm actually seeing in my circles a lot of couples who've been married over 30 years getting divorced because they've been in abusive marriages, and they stayed in it for the kid. Right? And so
And not a problem with biblical Christianity.
Right. So
Just,
yeah. So the problem is, you know, I mean, each couple has their own. They have to have it okay in their own conscience what's right. Right. I mean, that's, you know, God knows the whole story. So that's the ultimate thing. Okay. So do you have any?
so you have a question 5. No, you have 4.
I answered that. Well, I asked you 4. So did you ask me 4? What's your 4?
I didn't.
All right. Question 4.
Kind of like the same line as the similar questions, but
These are
what is one thing that you know now that you wish you had known 34 years ago?
About what? That's like be more specific about marriage or about
Yeah,
you,
I mean,
or
we're talking about our marriage. So, what's one thing you know today that you wish you had known 34 years ago?
Wow. That's a good question. I have to think about that. I mean, I think everything I know about you. Well, okay, I can say this. Well, no, I can't say that. Well, that's a good question. So one thing I know now that I wish I would have known 34 years ago is how stubborn you are.
Okay.
I don't know. There's not a good way to put it. Let's see. Like, stubbornness isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes it's a good thing. Not all the time. But, like, some of the things that you gripe and complain about today, you've complained about our whole marriage. And,
Okay,
there are things that haven't changed, right? I mean, you know, that rumination link, you know, it's like, yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So because I'm more apt to implement change quicker than you. I think that's how I see it anyway. I think that is something that I wished I had known if I answered the question. So
Okay. Yeah.
But so yeah, so you're kind of stubborn a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. But I am too. I'm sure I'm stubborn in my own way.
Sure.
So so that looks like you're a little bit surprised by that answer, but
Well, not real surprised, but just wondered how the benefit, what the benefit would be 34 years ago. But
well, I think the benefit is that, you know, kind of like that old adage of the nagging wife, you know, people get upset when you have a nagging wife. You know, the Bible even talks about it's better to live in a corner of a house than in the, you know, on the roof of the house than in the house with a dripping faucet who's like a nagging wife or whatever. I think that actually still goes though to my over expectancy, which isn't, I don't have a lot of it, but you know, it's kind of like, well, if you want to be stubborn about whatever or complain about this again, like, can you just go do it somewhere else? I don't need to hear it. So that's.
So if you'd known that 34 years ago, then
I don't know. I mean, I obviously was going to still marry you because God told me to marry you. I mean, God told me to marry you. He's like, this is your husband. And I'm like, he's really cute, so I'm going to marry him. But yeah, there's, you know.
All right, question number 5 for you.
All right, question 5. What is your advice to people in a relationship? I mean, that was my 5th question.
What kind of relationship?
Well, I don't know. Any type of relationship. They're married. They're, you know, not married.
Know yourself?
Don't do it. No.
Know yourself? Well, yeah.
Well,
I would say any kind of relationship goes back to the key relationships. And that's to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and your neighbor as yourself. You get those two relationships right, and pretty much everything goes really well.
Yep. All right, you got one more left.
That's you. What is your favorite time of day?
What is my favorite time of day?
Yeah.
After 34 years of marriage, you don't know?
Just a question.
Let's see. My favorite time of day is probably the morning when I'm watching my squirrels and my birds. Oh my. And then when I'm watching baseball with you. Go Yankees. Don't hate us. There's a lot of haters and Yankees out there.
Yeah. Lovers and haters. I don't think there's any middle of the road people. I don't think there's anybody indifferent about the Bronx Bombers. You love them or you hate them.
Well, that's something 34 years ago I would have never guessed that you'd become a baseball fan because of me. Or play pickleball because of me. Or make squirrels and bird videos because of me. So.
Oh, wow. Very kind of you.
Yeah, thanks, God.
Very kind. Very kind.
Look at that, our first YouTube donation.
Oh.
So that's what I would say, is 34 long years of marriage. Randall has put up with me.
And vice versa.
But I would say, like the thing, that Randall said for me, the thing that where I've grown the most is in diplomacy. Whereas before, I'd be like, no. What are you talking about, Willis? Now, I do have other question, and it's more of a commentary, and that is, over the years, one of the areas I've seen Randall grow in more is as a dog parent and a cat parent. One of the things that most people don't know about Randall is that he is a very tender-hearted man. He cries when he sees God move in somebody's life or he sees somebody converted to the Lord. He understands that their salvation is important. He has a ministry to the persecuted church, and not just persecuted church, but the church at large. He ministers in Tanzania every week, and the pastors over there are amazing congregation of men and women who literally the people in Tanzania that he ministers to every Friday morning, they literally watch him on a cell phone. Mm-hmm. Like we're broadcasting on this cell phone. They literally have this cell phone and they meet in a tent and they will sit. It's kind of like a tent. Looks like kind of like a tent. But anyway, whatever. They meet in this church congregation and they have a cell phone. They're watching my husband share the gospel. And for me, it doesn't get any better than that to see other people literally across the world who are willing to sit and listen to my husband share the gospel, because you can't get people from a Baptist church who are in a men's ministry come to our house a mile away at a decent hour during the time to come and sit in a Bible study. American Christians don't want to, they don't have the heart or the thing to be in ministry. And so Randall not only has grown as a pastor in that way, but he also loves our animals, and he loves me. But I mean, one thing I didn't know about you when we got married was how much you care for animals and how much you will put Band-Aids on them. You'll pray for them. You will, like our dog Grover, you took him to get groomed today. There's just things like that are
give them allergy shots and
make videos to fundraise, to make videos to fundraise to pay for their vet bills.
Drain their cysts and all kinds
That
of.
is something I didn't know about you.
Well, I didn't know about myself either.
So
but
should I
it's
die? Should I get sick first? Randall will probably, take care of me that way.
In sickness and health,
And actually, this is one piece of advice I give couples who are thinking about getting married. This is the one piece when I've had people come to me for marriage counseling that aren't married. This is my one question. You can write this down. It's a very important question. That question is this: do you want this person holding your hand on your deathbed? Will this person be holding your hand on deathbed, or will they have left you because they're a narcissist, or, and watch how they care for their parents. Because if they do not care for their parents or other people, assuming it's a decent relationship, that could be a foreshadow of how they're going to care for you and your kids. If
animals,
you have any.
how they interact
treat
with animals.
Yeah. So all of these things are very important because, how they treat somebody in a restaurant, right?
Sure.
These type of things. So thank you. Yep. We'll be back. I'm going to try to do a live stream next week. So hopefully, because Randall's on vacation. That's why I haven't been doing any videos this week. And my MacBook screen went dark. And what's wrong with my MacBook? That's why we're on the phone.
Dustgate.
Dustgate.
Look it up. Look it up.
So Dustgate basically, so basically dirt got in my MacBook and it destroyed my MacBook.
Well, just the display cable.
Oh, so we gotta go to the Apple store. Hopefully it will fix it. Yeah. And then the other thing about Randall is he's a great composer. A composer of beautiful music that more people needs to hear.
Yeah. Find my name here on YouTube and you can listen to it.
So, all right. Well, we got some likes. We got $10 to go towards our ministry.
Yeah.
And if anybody else has any questions, we'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, we're going to sign off. We've already gone
Close to an hour.
Yeah, almost an hour. But that's okay. So if you just joined us, Randall is my husband. Yeah, he is. He's not yours. He's mine. People. Yeah. And we thought that it would be fun to talk about 34 years of marriage and some stuff that you can learn in the marriage. We already answered all of our questions that we wrote ahead of time. So if you have any questions that you would ask in the last couple minutes here, then we'd be happy to answer them. Now that all of the people who come in from all over the place who like to spam live feeds are gone. So. That was my dad's shirt, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. All right. I have a top fans button. So we got JDF is a top fan. We have somebody I can't understand that language, Billy and Allie King. And there's no name on that one. So. I have a question. If you had to give a theme song to our marriage, what would it be? I just came
like
up.
A well-known song?
Yeah, a well-known song. Or one that you've made. Like a well-known song.
Wow. I don't know. I'd have to.
You don't know.
Yeah. Good question, though. Can't think of an answer.
I'm all out of love, so lost without you.
That would be weird.
An Air Supply song. How about, for me, it would be the pirate movie theme song.
Yeah, okay.
Give me a happy ending every time.
Yeah.
with kiss and makeup. That's a very something sign. Give me a happy ending every time. I can't remember the words, but Christy McNichol was in it. I remember that much.
Mm-hmm.
She
All
did.
right.
No more sadness, times of gladness. No more police and thieves.
All right.
Life's worth giving, caring, giving. Life's for you and me. When the going's rough and it's kind of tough, leave your troubles and your woes. I can't remember the words,
That's good.
but you should look up the song. You'll see how much I messed it up.
All right. Well, we feel these folks go.
Give me a happy ending every time. Randall loves this song, can't you
I
tell?
do. Yeah.
So, you know you don't. You hate this song.
Say goodnight, Stacy Lynn.
All right, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. Feel free to give us a tip if you'd like, and we'll see you later. Since we're not getting any more questions, so I'm gonna figure out how to end this thing.
I think it's a big X.
Yep, big X. Look at that. Got the big finger. No. There we go. Wait. There we go. Are you